had one epic elephant shirt that had 2 elephant heads on the front, and then on the back it had 2 elephant butts, like butting up against each other. Yes, I was teased as a child. Yes, I was. But I loved that shirt. I loved it.
Shake up a martini, pull up a chair, and let's go thrifting. This is Mid-Century Wasted.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Jamie and this is Mid-Century Wasted. Today, I have a really fun video for you. As you can tell, we are in a different surrounding, and it's because we're doing a little different thing today. Something that I don't usually do. This isn't a shopping video. It's not a vintage haul. Today, we're gonna be talking about my collections. And this is a collaboration video. I know I just did another collaboration video, but this one's gonna be completely different. This is a collaboration hosted by Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile. If you have not checked out his channel before, I highly recommend it. I cannot recommend his channel highly enough. It is linked down below in the description box. Please go check him out. Today, we are doing vintage firsts. And this is in celebration of Patrick's 1-year anniversary of being a vintage reseller. So, yay Patrick, congratulations. It's hard work. People don't really realize what hard work it is to be a vintage reseller and to make videos too. So, congratulations Patrick. You have earned it. You have worked hard. I know you have. And today we are celebrating you. And we are doing that by talking about our vintage firsts. And it was up to us to do with that what we will. And I have decided, partly because people have been asking for me to do a home tour or to show my collections, things like that, I have decided to do the first items that I got in each of my collections and give you also some about me in a way, because I've done these videos, but maybe we haven't gotten inside about who I am as a person. No, we don't need to get that deep. But I want to walk you through how I became a collector, where my collections started from, and then show you the first thing I got, if I can remember, from each of my collections. And I'll show off my collections a little bit. It should be fun. I hope you enjoy it. So, as a child, the first real collection that I had, I collected elephants. Elephant figurines, elephant everything. Truly, elephant everything. Elephants were my favorite animal. They still are one of my favorite animals. They're definitely like top 2. Definitely my favorite wild African safaris or zoo animal. So I had a huge elephant collection. People gave me elephant things for my birthday and Christmas. I had elephant shirts. I had one epic elephant shirt that had 2 elephant heads on the front, and then on the back it had 2 elephant butts, like butting up against each other. Yes, I was teased as a child. Yes, I was. But I loved that shirt. I loved it. So, oh well. So my elephant collection was my first collection. At some point, I got rid of the elephant collection, but I did save a few, and I wrapped them up and I put them in my memory trunk. They have been living in my parents' garage all through my adulthood. When my parents recently moved to Oregon, I was like, hey, let me keep that memory trunk. And it's now been in my garage, just sitting there, and I have not looked through it in years and years, probably 15 years plus. I have not looked through it. So I opened it up because I was making this video. And then that reminded me, as I found the elephants that I had kept, it reminded me that as a kid, I had a second collection. I collected Disney figurines, Disney character figurines, and they were from Disneyland. As a kid, we went to Disneyland because I'm here in Southern California. I grew up here. We went to Disneyland at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. And it was an event. Back then, I mean, it was, oh my God, so much cheaper to go to Disneyland than it is today. But still, you know, it's a lot of money to go to Disneyland. As a family, especially, you gotta buy all the tickets, all the food. And then of course, as a kid, you want a toy or a souvenir of some sort. So I think my mom kind of steered me in the direction of collecting Disney figurines. You know, it was something a little more collectible. It wasn't going to be just some crappy toy that broke as soon as we got home, although I did break the figurines, as you will see. So every time we went to Disneyland, I could get one figurine. just one. So as you'll see, I have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't know if I only got one dwarf per trip. I feel like I got maybe like 2 dwarfs at a time, but I've got 15 or so figurines here. So maybe I got a couple each trip, but I remember it as being like, you can pick out one each trip. So I pieced together over time these little collections. Now you'll see, I'm going to show you in a second here. You'll see I don't have very many because I only did this as a kid and we only went a couple times a year at the most, like I said. So, and then eventually I just stopped doing it. As you get older, especially in the preteen, teen years, you know, it's just not like cool to collect the little tchotchkes and figurines. So they all got wrapped up and put in this trunk. So let's look at it, shall we? Okay, so here it is. Starting with the elephants, this is what's left of my elephant collection from when I was a child. Now, I just dug all these out. I have not seen these in a very long time. And I think it's rather humorous which ones I saved, because I did get rid of the vast majority of my elephant collection. And I'm a little disappointed. Like, I know I've looked through these at some point between then and now, but I'm definitely a little disappointed at the ones that I kept. Made in China, 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 made in China. This one is the only one. It says made in Brazil on the bottom. And it actually just style-wise, that one's I'm a little more drawn to that one now. I do remember that I had a bunch of elephant figurines, I believe belonged to my great grandma or her daughter or something. I remember a bunch of them were broken and glued back together. So that may have been part of the deciding factor to get rid of them. Actually, this one doesn't say made in China on the bottom. Doesn't say anything. I don't know. Anyway, the other thing, here's the Disney figurine collection. Oh, also, as I was digging through my little memory box, I found these little things, which I did not remember at all. There's a little bear glued to a gem. I did actually have a rock collection at some point. There's a cute little owl. He's a pin, and he looks older, so I don't even know where he came from. And a little squirrel, and a little puma, panther, lion looking thing, and this little teeny deer. I don't know why these were all in my memory trunk, but they were. So here's the, I believe I kept all of these. These were all of the Disney figurines that I had amassed. And as you can see, Captain Hook, he is broken. I believe, who is that? Sleepy, he is broken. I believe she was glued back together at the waist. You know, I was a kid. These were on a shelf. I played with them. And as you can see, they are made in China. This was $11 at Disneyland in the, I'm going to say, early 90s. And I remember my mom saying that they were very expensive. Which is something I know as a parent now, you say to a kid when you just don't want to buy them a ton of crap that they're gonna just break, which I did, obviously. Now this one I thought was in really good shape still. This one was really cute. I kind of think this was like the last one that I bought when I stopped collecting these, because this one doesn't have any wear. And it's, you know, it's cute. These aren't really worth anything, but I've kept them all these years. And I think maybe when my kids get a little bit older, they would like looking at these. So I'm probably just gonna end up wrapping them all back up and putting them back in the trunk. I also found this little kitten and this baby booty planter. And I remember those were in my bedroom too as a child. So here it is. This was my very first collection, or what is left of it anyway. So out of childhood, as I got into the teen years, we start getting into the age of the internet. Yes, I grew up as a child. There was no internet. And then as I got older, we had internet. So I was through all of the very early, I don't even remember what they call them, those computers with the black screens and the green the really old computers. If you're under the age of like 25, you have no clue what I'm talking about right now. But in school, we had the floppy disks. We had Oregon Trail. I'm the Oregon Trail generation. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's way better than being called a millennial. I lived through the dial-up modem and old AOL, original AOL. Spent a lot of hours chatting after school. But the great thing with the invention of the internet was eBay. And in the early years of eBay, I was on there as a kid, very early on, hunting down vintage treasures. I don't remember how I first started doing that, but I did. And I was selling things on eBay in my early 20s, 15, almost 20 years ago. But I've been on there since the beginning of eBay. And I actually have what I, in my memory anyway, believe to be the first thing I ever bought on eBay. And I was in high school. So this was probably 99, 2000, 2001. I graduated in 2001. It was probably right around there. It was right around Y2K. Let's put it that way. Right around Y2K, I bought this on eBay. I'm sure I had to like ask my mom for her credit card or something. I don't know how I did it, but I had my own little, we called it the studio. I had a couch in there and my art table and stuff like that. It was my own little room. It wasn't my bedroom, but it was my own little like workroom or office. And I decorated this in a mid-century modern kind of style. I liked shopping at Z Gallery at the time, and they had a lot of reproduction posters and artwork. And I had a Gone with the Wind poster and Casablanca poster. So I had these like 40s, and then there was a Marilyn Monroe one too. So I had these like 40s, 50s vintage reproduction posters up in the room. I had a big red leather couch. And the first thing I ever bought on eBay that went into that room was this clock. There it is. And I've always been very into clocks. My mom always decorated with clocks. We always kind of had a joke of like, it's a clock, and we love it. It's just because it is a clock. This is made in Japan. Oh, it's so dusty on the back, but I'm gonna show you because I didn't clean it and I have no shame. It's so dusty. It's been sitting on a shelf. You can kind of see right there's made in Japan, and it's got some Japanese writing on this label, and it says Swan Lake. And that is what it plays. I don't know if it's even still gonna play. It might not wind anymore. Oh, here we go. This is the slowest version of this song of all time. And now it's never gonna stop. There we go. That's so creepy now. But anyway, I don't know how to make it stop. So I'm gonna go put this in the other room because it's never gonna stop making this music now. Okay, it's still going in the other room. You might even be able to hear it a little bit. Anyway, that was the first thing that I ever really bought off of eBay. It's at least the first thing that I still have that I bought off of eBay. I wish I had a clock collection, but that kind of just represents the start of my mid-century modern decor collection. It's the first thing that I ever bought on eBay, which is quite a milestone. Who can say that they remember the very first thing they ever bought on eBay? And now, of course, eBay is like my life. I buy tons of stuff on eBay, and I also sell a ton of stuff on eBay, which is now a good time to tell you that I am a seller on eBay. And if you want to check out my eBay store, check the link down below. Anyway, from the high school years, we're now going into the college years. I went to Cal State Long Beach University, and I started out as an art major. Didn't really know what the heck I wanted to do with art. I just knew I was an artist and I should do something with that. And I decided to go into design. I ended up going into the interior architectural design program, which is actually a very hard program at Cal State Long Beach. It's very prestigious, very difficult to get into. A lot of work, and I'm not an interior architectural designer. I'm not in that field at all. So I went through all that, and I'm not gonna say it was for nothing, but I don't do that. But what happened to me when I was in college, I started taking art history classes. I was learning all about the big heavy hitter designers, architectural designers, and different styles. And I didn't realize it, but I had already been drawn to mid-century modern. And then I started learning about all of the mid-century modern architects and furniture designers and just that whole very sleek, minimalist kind of look, and I was really drawn to it. Now my style is more mid-century modern kitsch, and I like lots of stuff still. But the lines and the design style, I was immediately sucked into it, and it influenced my own art, my own design. All my projects in college had kind of a mid-century modern vibe to them. I did start collecting more at that time. It was more of home decor and things like that. Once I graduated college and I got my first real job where I was making okay money, not good money, but okay money straight out of college. So I had sort of some extra money. Still living at home with my parents. I didn't have to pay rent, so I had money to burn. And I grew a collection at that time. What is this collection? I have a book collection. The very first thing I ever really started collecting as an adult of value, I collect books. I'm going to show you the very first antique book that I bought, and I remember where I bought it, and I remember how cool it is. Okay, so here it is. This is The Model New Woman by George F. Hall. As you can see inside, we're dealing with a very old book, very loose binding, very yellowed pages. This is first edition. I paid $9.50 for this, if I paid what it says written inside the book. And it was published in 1895. I didn't grow up shopping in antique stores. My parents weren't really antique collectors. We didn't go thrifting. I know some people my age who are into this sort of thing. It's because they grew up with it. I didn't. I kind of just spontaneously combusted into the world of vintage and antiques. That I can't really tell you what started me on that. But, you know, it was just a chain reaction of events, I suppose. And I remember it was an old boyfriend and I, at the time, went into this used bookstore. He was looking for comic books, and I was not. So I started looking at the antique books, and I had never really looked through antique books before. And this one caught my eye. I don't know why, just because it was called The Model New Woman and it looked old. I was like, well, what was the model new woman in 1895? I saw it was 1895. I was like, whoa, this book is old. And I was kind of blown away by that and was thinking, how did this book even survive that long? It's made out of paper. I mean, it should disintegrate by now, because this was the early 2000s. So it was, 110 years old easily at that point. And then I looked through it, and the illustrations in this book and just the antiquated ideas of what a model new woman would be in 1895, it's hilarious. Here are girls who can paddle their own canoe. Damn it, ladies. You are inspirations to women everywhere. Paddling your own canoe. Look at them. What modern women to paddle their own canoes. There's a study in bloomers, and it's literally a study in bloomers. This is a novel. Okay, you must know that the model new woman rides a straddle or a straddle. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but there she is riding a straddle. I think that means like not side saddle. Is that what that means? Because she looks like she's got one leg swung right on over the horse and spread out, all unladylike. How is this like allowed in 1895? This must have been like contraband. Oh, she picked up a pole and vaulted. Look at that model new woman vaulting. This book started something for me. It started my love for antiques and vintage and ephemera, because the concept of anything paper lasting that long kind of just like blew my mind. I started really loving going to old bookstores. And yes, I bought some more modern books on eBay too at that time. I have a John Grisham collection, because I actually, even as like way too young to be allowed to read John Grisham, I was reading John Grisham books when I was like 12. And I really love those kind of law mystery stories. And so I collected the first edition John Grisham books. My husband has a first edition Stephen King book. I do not like the Stephen King books. I do not like horror. Scares the bejesus out of me. Going into old bookstores, it definitely like started something. Digging through the shelves, looking for first editions, looking for how old things are, looking for very outdated feminist information. There's a history behind it that I'm really drawn to. There's just the art form of writing I'm very drawn to. And that's when I really started going into shops that had antiques and old musty smelling things and digging around. And so books started that for me. Also, I love to read. I've always been an avid reader, even as a kid. So books were kind of a natural thing for me to start collecting. After getting into books and going to old bookstores to look for antique books and vintage books, I started getting into going to the thrift stores. I would always go straight to the book aisle. Then I started noticing like the home decor. Now, I didn't go into thrift stores very often. I wasn't like an avid thrifter. I never really looked at the clothes at first. I was going there to look for books. And then I would also browse like for mid-century modern home decor things too. When I started really hitting thrift stores more often is when I started to plan my wedding, and I was looking for decor for my wedding, decor for my bridal shower. I have talked about it before. I had a 1950s housewife themed bridal shower. So I bought a lot of stuff at thrift stores to decorate for that. My entire wedding was a vintage travel theme. So I was buying old suitcases and lots of old little bottles to use as the centerpieces. I really pieced together the entire wedding at thrift stores and yard sales too. Fast forward to today, and just the last 2 years or so, after we got married, Blake and I started wanting to really decorate our home in a more grown-up way. A more adult way. It was kind of post-college mishmash of joining his things with my things, and you know, that's what a lot of homes are, and it's perfectly fine. But we wanted to start kind of focusing our decor. I say we, but it's me. But he's like on board with decorating the house really nicely too. He really likes having nice things as well. So we started thrifting a little more. I started joining groups on Facebook that kind of had similar design styles and seeing a lot of these different really fun kitschy collections that were out there, and really looking for more mid-century modern type furniture to decorate our house with, things like that. And one fateful day, my grandma was having a yard sale. And I think I have talked about this before, but I think it was one of my very early first videos, if I did fully talk about this before. But my grandma was about to sell this Pyrex bowl, and I saw her putting it out, and I was like, Grandma, people collect that. That's Pyrex. That's vintage Pyrex. I've seen that in my mid-century modern kitsch Facebook group. People go crazy for that kind of stuff. She was like, well, take it. And I was like, well, okay. Because she was going to sell it for $1, which would have been a steal for any of the resellers that came to her yard sale and saw this sitting there for $1. I mean, this would have gotten snatched up in a heartbeat. But it's mine, and this is my special Fetus Bowl. If you know about this pattern, if you know about vintage Pyrex, it's a fruit bowl, as you can tell. It's got fruit all around it, and this is a pear, but once you see it looking like a fetus, there's the arm, there's the leg, and then there's the little baby fetus head. You can never unsee it. So I've ruined everyone who is watching this video who didn't know this already. You're gonna see a little baby fetus every time you see this pattern now, for the rest of your life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and you're welcome, because now you're part of the club. So this I took home from Grandma's yard sale, and boy, did it ever start a collection. And I am going to do, eventually, I am going to do a whole separate video all about my Pyrex collection. I'm going to be cleaning it all out, sorting it, organizing it, and it's just going to be kind of a organize with me type video. But I'll show you all the Pyrex that I've got. But it all started with this one bowl, and I keep this bowl in a different cabinet. I don't mix it in with my other thrifted and estate sale found Pyrex, because this one will never leave. Family heirlooms are stuff that I will never get rid of. I'll never get rid of the family heirlooms. Anything I find at a thrift store or an estate sale, there is a price at which I will sell it. I don't know what that price is necessarily, and maybe it's more than it's worth, but I would sell anything at the right price, except for the stuff that came from my grandma or my great grandma or any of my family. Any of the old stuff that's been in the family, that to me is very valuable. It's worth way more than what these bowls sell for on eBay, which is around $30. Just so you know. I actually have another one that I just found in an estate sale recently that I am going to sell. But this one stays in the special cabinet so that I don't mix them up. So here's the one bowl that started my entire Pyrex collection. And the other giant collection that I have, which I still have not hung completely everything up on the walls, even though we moved into this place almost a year ago now. I'm still not done decorating because I'm busy. I have a vintage paint by number collection. It's actually a set of 4. They're the 4 seasons. This is spring, this is fall, summer, and winter. These 4, along with 2 that I actually do have hanging up in the other room, which I'm probably showing you B-roll of right now. Those 6 paint by numbers were my first paint by numbers that I ever found. And I found them all on the same day. And I found them at Savers at a thrift store. And I kind of lost my mind. Like I saw one. I was like, oh, that's a vintage paint by number. I know people collect those. I want to collect those. It was like an instant, like, oh, I am collecting these now kind of lightning bolt moment. So I grabbed it and I put it in my cart, and then I saw another, and then I saw another, and then I kept looking around and I saw more. And I was just like, oh my God. And then I realized that these ones were all a set and they went together. And I was like, ugh. And I found them all. I made sure to find every single one. I was spending a lot of time digging through the art that day. These ones were, sell the price tag on the back, $4.99 a piece. And the little ones, I believe, were $3.99 a piece. So 5, 10, 15, 28. I spent $28 and I got 6 vintage paint by numbers. And to this day, these are my favorites. I love the subject matter. I love the way they're painted. They're exquisitely painted. I loaded my shopping cart that day. I wish I had a YouTube channel at that time and I was taking you with me on that Savers Day, because to this day, that is the best day at Savers that I ever had. I loaded my cart that day with stuff. Paint by numbers were just one of many things that I found on that day. And at that time, I was still kind of like walking the line between just collecting and reselling too. I hadn't fully committed to reselling it, but I ended up finding a lot of stuff to resell that day and did very well on those things. So that really was the first start of my super kitschy, mid-century modern kitsch paint by number collection. And it really only started not very long ago, and I've amassed quite a few now. But again, I will show you the entirety of that collection in a different video because they're not hung up yet. I have them in a pile upstairs, unfortunately. Soon though, I'm gonna have them going all the way up the stairs on the wall in my stairwell, but it's just a matter of getting them hung up. Last but not least, you can see behind me our beautiful rainbow of swung glass. I cannot, for the life of me, remember which one of those we bought first. No. I think it was the green one, like right back there. It's got a little pedestal, or it was this like amber, smaller amber one right there. I don't remember. This collection has happened so fast, it's made my head spin. It's just like anytime we see one, we buy it. I don't even care. And we have found them almost entirely at estate sales or a couple yard sales too. So that's a collection that I'm currently working on building. I need a big orange one and a big red one. I would like a bigger purple one too, but those are a little hard to find. But that's been really fun. That's probably like my favorite thing to collect currently right now. I also want to show real quick, I am wearing my NASA shirt. I need my space, which is perfect for this quarantine business. I want to say, if you haven't checked out my channel, you could start with the very first video I ever posted, and it was all space theme things in honor of the moon landing. It was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing on the day that I posted my very first YouTube video. So you can go all the way back on my channel and watch that one if you haven't watched it. I talk about spacey mid-century things that I've found. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it. Oh, and I do need to just a footnote here, because obviously this has been behind me the entire time. You're thinking, are you not going to mention the giant amount of records you have right behind you? That is my husband's collection. He also has the collector's gene, or he caught the collector bug, and he has been amassing a giant vinyl collection. So that's what that is. But I want to end this on an optimistic kind of note and talk about what could I possibly be collecting in the future? What's next? And I don't really know. My collections do kind of ebb and flow, especially things that maybe started with, you know, the one Pyrex bowl. Maybe, will I collect Pyrex forever? I don't know. Maybe I'll just sell it all off someday. I have started collecting Catherine Holm. Those go well with the Pyrex though. Those look really good together. But will I collect it forever? I don't know. For now, that's what I'm collecting. Something I've found myself drawn to more lately are Holt Howard figurines. I was just talking about this with Blake the other day. I think it would be really fun and interesting to learn how to restore vintage typewriters. I am always looking at vintage typewriters. I feel like I see them all the time at estate sales, and the only reason I don't buy them is because they're big and heavy to ship, for one thing, and I know nothing about them, and I don't know how they work. I don't know how to fix them if they don't work, but that's something that I think would be really fun to get into. So maybe someday that'll be my next collection, is I'll start collecting vintage typewriters and try to fix them. But that'll definitely be something that I'll have to get into after my kids are a little bit older and don't take up quite so much of my time and attention and energy. Let me know in the comments below what you collect. That is what I'm the most excited to hear. What do you collect? What was your vintage first in your collection? Thank you so much, Patrick. This was really fun. It was really fun to make, and congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. I'm really looking forward to seeing what other people do with this, because it was such a broad direction. Thanks so much for watching. Everyone go check out Patrick's channel, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and the playlist for all the people who joined this collaboration will both be down below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye.